Well, it's summertime, folks, and a time of year when lots of people like to travel. Worldwide, people will take to planes, trains, and automobiles, and their experiences will be filled with all sorts of fun surprises, and in many cases, trains. Oh my goodness. So I just stumbled across this train. I was in Mexico City recently, and I can attest that those universal waves and smiles associated with trains were alive and well. Anyone going on a road trip this summer? Well, not long ago, I took the quintessential American road trip on Route 66. I actually started in North Carolina, where I grew up. So I hopped on I-40 and then eventually wound up on Route 66, and oh my goodness, I had such an amazing time. I was traveling solo, so I could stop when I wanted, where I wanted, for as long as I wanted. And I saw so many things, including the train depot in Tucumcari, New Mexico. I love hearing about really cool travel destinations and then making plans to go. But it's also really exciting when you're just on a road trip or out and about and you stumble upon a place spontaneously, which is what happened when I was going from Hot Springs, Arkansas to visit a friend in Oklahoma. So I'm not really a beef jerky fan at all, and I can definitely smell it being made here, but I am a fan of trains. So I don't know about you, but I had never before seen the Missouri Pacific Railroad in person. Not a caboose, locomotive, train car, anything. So I thought this was pretty cool. The Missouri Pacific Railroad was founded in 1917 after the Pacific Railroad, and then today we have the Union Pacific. So anyways, I thought this was pretty special and enjoyed climbing around on it. So I'm curious how fast you'll be able to identify this next destination. It is a really old town and there's a lot of history and interesting railroad history. There's a Union Station there that was renovated in recent years and a drawbridge, and let's see how fast you can figure it out. Interesting. It's really cool. Great. So apparently the governor of North Carolina lived here. And at some point, the house was burnt down. And then at some point, they redid it. And now it's open as a museum. I learned that New Bern is the second oldest town in North Carolina. So it's been fun also looking at these different homes and the dates and wow, I mean even like the detail, things like that. I love that. Wow. So riding on the Surfliner along the Pacific Ocean is on my agenda soon. But have you guys ever seen railroad tracks on the water like this? I just love reading all of your comments on YouTube and the train-related destinations that you recommend. Speaking of, let me share with you a couple recent conversations I had with guys at the Descanso Gardens Railroad who told me about some really cool places that they thought I'd like to check out. So you just said trains was a part of your first date with your now wife?
Right. So on our first date, we talked about Miniature Wonderland, which is in Hamburg. And then we wound up going there on our honeymoon. So Miniature Wonderland, it's in Hamburg, Germany. The twin brothers that own it are Garrett and Frederick Brown. And Garrett is like the computer guy. So he figured out how to do all kinds of programming for their airport to make the model planes like take off and land. And then they just opened their Formula One section. So the little Formula One cars drive around, and it's a randomized sequence. So every race is different, but it's also the world's largest miniature railway in terms of track length. So it's a pretty cool attraction.
Okay, this has been me the whole time talking to him, just like jaw dropped. Anyways, we're gonna continue. What is your name?
Andrew.
I'm Lisa.
Lisa,
Nice to meet you, Andrew. Okay, so are there other train-related places that you would recommend?
Yeah, in LA, there's the Steamers Club, there's Travel Town, and then there's the Griffith Park train. And then in Chicago, where I'm from originally, it's actually the same company that designed this Garden Railroad. They're called Applied Imagination, and they designed a model railroad for the Chicago Botanical Garden, it's north of Chicago, but it's in Glencoe. So Knott's Berry Farm, it started as a berry farm, and then during the Depression, Walter Knott and his wife Cordelia Knott started selling chicken dinners to make ends meet. And the line to get into the chicken restaurant was so long that Walt made this like ghost town, which is like an interactive thing that you could walk through while you were waiting for your table. And then it evolved into the theme park that it is now. And to tie it into the train situation, they took an old bus and converted it into a train. And so that's the train that they have that drives around the park.
You should check out, I think it's like the Costa Mesa model train or junior like train engineers. And then they do, it's kind of like the trains that you ride along here, but you can ride along it from the public also. And it's a bunch of people who come together and like into that one like track area, and then they all ride their trains together. Yeah. So a bunch of those little ones that people are riding.
The 7.5 gauge trains?
And then, you know, there's like 6 of them all at once, all running on different tracks. So.
Okay. Thank you. I love getting recommendations. I have like a long list that I keep adding to of like cool places to go. So thank you. Some of the best trips are visits to see old friends. And I recently paid a visit to Jim Turk, a family friend who also happened to have worked on the railroad. Hi! Hi!
How you doing, Lisa?
Good!
I've been to the Horseshoe Curve, but it was my dad that picked this up for me, I think.
That's special. So I hadn't seen Jim since I was about 6 or 7 years old, so it had been quite a long time. But he spent his whole career working on the railroad and was specifically in charge of derailments and repairs. How often were there derailments here?
Well, we would sometimes come in and have four derailments already on the car, cars on the ground to clear up during the day.
Oh my gosh, look at that. This is...
Now that was caused
Oh my gosh.
This is like the Pulp Fiction manual for the railroad. That's from 1952, probably before your dad and I were born.
Wow! Jim and his wife surprised me with these presents, some very yummy homemade banana bread, and just so many things I got to see that I can't wait to show you more of. Visit my website, Lisa K Entertainment, to see my new YouTube webpage with episodes, helpful travel items, train-related finds, and other things for you to enjoy. And I will see you very soon.